Greetings, bookworms of Concord. Pastor Beckett here with a review of Halo Broken Circle by John Shirley. A little exposition before I get started with the review. So, when I was in college and seminary, I graduated from seminary 2 years ago. I kind of lost my love for leisurely reading because both in college and seminary, I had to do a lot of reading. And it was 8 years of schooling, so I had to do a lot of reading for the classes, and I just did not have the mental energy to do any sort of leisurely reading, mostly. Whenever I did have very little free time to do so. So since I graduated 2 years ago, I've been really getting back into reading again, and so that's 8 years of falling behind all the Halo books that have come out. I think right now there's something like 33. So after reading several other books, I decided to just start over from the beginning chronologically, which is why one of the first video reviews you'll see on my channel is the Forerunner saga. So I had read all three of those first in 1 week. They're easy to read. They're like pretty large print, between 300 and 400 pages. So some of these books I will be reading for like the second or third time. Like the Forerunner saga, there were like two of those I had read 2 times already, so I read both of the two of those 3 times, and that so Halo Broken Circle. This was my second time reading this book. So fine, I'll just get into the review then. So Broken Circle, this is one of my favorite books. It tells the story of the war between the Sangheili and the Sanshum, or the elites and the prophets, as we know them by, respectively. A few thousand years before the events of the first Halo game, starting in the year 865 BC on the human timeline. As you might be able to guess, what starts the conflict is the Sanshum's research, or not their research, their search for Forerunner relics on the Sangheili homeworld called Sanghelios. If you're a Halo veteran, then you already know the elites and prophets are allies in the first game and partway through Halo 2. And this book tells a tale of how they joined forces and formed what came to be known as the Covenant, the infamous Covenant. So you follow the tale of an elite. I'm going to do my very best with these names. There's really no way to know how they're pronounced. But you follow the tale of an elite named Usa Zealous, who still fights and refuses to join the Covenant after a decade of most elites joining them through an oath of service called the Writ of Union. And that Writ of Union is what formed the Covenant, beginning with the elites and the prophets. If you remember the Shield World from the Forerunner saga by Greg Bear before this, Usa is led to one of them and aims to move his fellow rebels there as refuge from the Covenant. You also gain some pretty neat insights into Sangheili and Sanshum cultures. My favorite thing about this book is that it shows you that the Sangheili are not mindless monsters, contrary to our first encounter with them in the first game, Halo Combat Evolved, but that they are a people. They are a people with their own culture, customs, and liturgies who didn't just blindly join the Covenant like we've thought, but experienced their own divisions about the matter. There are even divisions within the Sanshum race, believe it or not. And what is perhaps most interesting is that there were already doubts about the so-called Great Journey, both within and without the Covenant early on in their history. On the Sanshum end, you also follow the story of a Sanshum named Miken Skriaben, also known as the Prophet of Inner Conviction, who is tasked to bring females back to High Charity and to find a particular Forerunner relic on their homeworld, John Combe, which none of them have been to for over a millennium because of their space ventures in search of holy relics to embark on the great journey, utilizing the notorious Halo array, as well as the divisions mentioned earlier. Both sides, Usa among the Sangheili rebels, and Inner Conviction as he searched for the Forerunner artifact, that a particular Forerunner artifact. Both of them meet betrayals that lead to intense events between the rebels and the Covenant. The latter part of the book surprisingly jumps thousands of years into the future during the more familiar time period of the games, but it makes sense that it does this after telling the story of the conflicts between the Sanshum and the Sangheili, and it serves a purpose, which is to tell the ramifications of the end of that conflict. You also read some interesting revelations about the beginnings of the Great Schism that took place within the Covenant during Halo 2. So that was pretty fascinating to read. It also makes it interesting how you might want to read this chronologically. Like, once you finish the first part, do you want to jump to the next few Halo books until you get to the timeline part of Halo 3 and then finish this book? That's how my brother prefers to read them, not me. I would rather finish the whole thing. I only have one minor complaint. The author writes that the elite's blood is dark blue or purple blue. But everyone who's played Halo knows their blood is just purple, a dark purple. Another time, he describes a character wearing a blue uniform that symbolizes Sangheili blood, but it's not. It's just purple. He actually describes their blood as being just purple only one time, so there is inconsistency with the lore there. This isn't the only Halo book that makes that mistake. The editors of these books just don't do their job very well. As you'll see throughout in the other Halo reviews I'll be doing. This error is not enough to knock down my rating. It's just an annoying lore inaccuracy. Now, the book does have a satisfying ending, and John Shirley did a really good job with combining all the events from the far past to the future. And I'd say this is probably one of the best Halo books of the series, in my opinion. So despite that annoying lore error with the color of the elite's blood, I would give this a 5 out of 5. But that's all from me for now. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you're interested in more reviews, whether it's Halo or other sci-fi, fantasy books, or theology books, please subscribe to get email notifications of when those come out. Thank you for watching, and God bless your reading.